Mr. Tan, now I hand over.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to the astronomy meeting today. Actually, I understood everything that he has said because I used to, my neighbors were all Cantonese when I was young. So
Mandarin also.
Mandarin is also fine with me.
Later, if you have questions, okay, English, Mandarin,
English, Mandarin, even you can ask in Cantonese, I can understand. Maybe except the way I answer you could be in English or in Chinese, whichever is better. Yeah, and of course, this is quite obvious, and this is actually something very interesting as I was thinking about it, because back in Singapore when we were students, we are taught the simple characters, but in order to watch the Cantonese movies, we need to understand the complex characters. So we can maintain the awareness of the characters even though we are reading another language. Okay, so this is me. I come from a school that is slightly special. It's not a private school, it's a government school, but the government wanted to experiment. So what do? They call us a private school, but yet it's still under the government. So they allow us. Yeah, it's confusing.
That is public money.
Yes, public money.
But they operate like a
Private school.
Oh,
Yes.
that's fine.
Yeah. So in our school, very interestingly, half of the teachers are privately employed, and the other half are government teachers. Then the principal and the vice principals are government teachers. So there is a mix of people there. So I think it is another way to experiment, so that in case something goes wrong, they say, no, this is not our responsibility, but actually it is still under their control. So it's quite a unique situation. I'm a direct staff, meaning to say that I'm privately employed by the school. Privately employed. So we do not call ourselves civil servants, we call ourselves public servants. Public.
Yeah, supported by public money.
Yes. Yeah, so this is the school. And this is my history. I only focus on the areas related to astronomy. Okay, because this is an astronomy gathering. I have only one job so far. I taught in a high school, and then now I teach in a secondary school. Okay, of course, coming to the school is very interesting for me because I get to teach even at the junior, we call it secondary school, we are already teaching electronics for O level. We are teaching, so these are the experimental subjects that we teach to our students, inclusive of even biotechnology to secondary 3 and 4 students. So at a very early age, we are exposing our students to many different types of experiences that the other students in other schools will only get to experience after they finish their secondary 4 education. Yeah. So I was involved in astronomy, as you can see, for a long time, since year 2000. Yeah. That's where I've been running astronomy clubs for the last 24 years. It's non-stop. Since I think something interesting also. I gate crashed Ho Kun Institute one day. You remember me? Yeah. I gate crashed because I went to buy a telescope in through a vendor in Hong Kong, and then he told me, oh, there's Ho Kun yeah, the environmental center. So I just went in and talked to the principal. So that's how I got to know the existence of Ho Kun since the year 2010. I think 2010. Yeah. So yep, that's my short background. Yeah, this is the sky condition we have in Singapore.
Yeah, move back to the previous. Mr.
Yeah. Yeah.
The last item.
Yeah.
You are the chair for IU National Astronomy Education.
Yes.
Oh, so in case Hong Kong
Oh.
have similar activity, is it possible contact you? Is it possible?
We are supposed to yeah, but this is because I just realized it. This is not regarding national policy. It's just the education aspect. Yeah.
We have one similar.
Oh, wonderful.
Our former chair.
Oh, nice to see you. Later we'll
we
keep
can
in contact. Yeah. So yeah, this is the type of. Oh, by the way, this uniform doesn't mean I've been an astronaut. I brought students to space camp.
Yeah, sponsored by the insurance company.
Yeah.
In Hong Kong, it's insurance by
Citibank.
no, not Citibank, Mass Mutual.
Yeah. Recently, another group of my students actually got the award to go for the space camp. Yeah, so I was very happy for them. So this is the reason why I'm wearing this. Okay. Yeah. So this is the sky condition. In fact, this is what I see when I look out of my window. It's always white in color, hardly any blue skies. So I think in Singapore, we have this similar problem, and our problem is even worse. And given such a huge patch of sky, I'm looking at the southern hemisphere. Just for the record, I have seen planets, the moon, the sun, and maybe 2 stars. Yeah, because for the rest of the time, it is like this in the daytime. So what happens at night? You'll be very happy to see this. So now you are convinced that I can see maximum 2 stars throughout the year. Yeah, and I think I can only see the 2 closest stars. Okay, so that is how bright Singapore is. In fact, when I was in the earlier years, when we were doing astronomy, I tried to bring students to an offshore island. To my horrible surprise there, the offshore island is next to a power station in Malaysia. So it's so bright that we ended up just backing up after that. Yeah. So today I'm just going to cover some astronomy related issues because I do not think I know a lot about astronomy, and my focus has been on astronomy education. So these are the 3 areas. In fact, these are the 3 groups of people in Singapore that are involved in astronomy. In fact, it covers almost everyone. Okay, one of them is in the university. So far, there's only one university that offers a minor in astronomy, and that's all. 8 modules. And the focus of these 8 modules is actually to train physics teachers, teachers especially, because I think nobody else will find an application for astronomy in the industry. So they actually use this to focus on training potential teachers. And there are only 8 modules out of, say, about 30 modules that they have to study. So in fact, I know the professor, I know the lecturer, and all the lecturers. It is one of the most popular subjects in the university. Most popular. In a very good year, it has about 1,000 students per module. 1,000 students. Okay, but the problem is nobody takes it as a minor module. They take it as an enrichment module. So the interest level is very high, definitely even at the university level. I even attended the talk because the lecturer was my professor. But the reality is that it is only a minor and it's never a specialization. Okay, in fact, you have thousands of students who are interested just to know about the subject, but not interested to take up a career in this area. Okay, but nevertheless, these are the astronomy education in the universities. The other one is on the astronomy clubs in school. So we have a whole list of schools. Before I go on to explain the clubs, maybe I just show the different model of education in Singapore. Okay, just to share our understanding of each other. You know, before I actually got married, I asked my girlfriend to help me get 26 copies of the Hong Kong Diploma in Science Education Physics textbook because there's an astronomy module in the syllabus. So she managed to get 26 textbooks and brought home all the way to back from Hong Kong to Singapore. So I realized that the Hong Kong diploma for high school is very different from the structure in Singapore. So what we have here is a very different model where the polytechnic is sandwiched between the university and the post-secondary education. So our students will end their secondary school education at 16 years old. And then after that, they either go to these institutes, polytechnics, or a junior college, which is the high school. And this takes about 2 years, 3 years, and maybe 2 years to 4 years. And then after that, they start work. For our male students, we actually have a national service, military service, 2 years sandwiched between these two, and after their junior college. So that's why our education is actually very short. It's only 10 years of compulsory education, and after that, up to this, and after that, it is focused on further training and development for the next stage. Yeah. So these are the so-called the percentage of the students that are in each of the what we call the various streams. But when I was looking at our past records, 50 years ago, everybody was just going through education, and I think only about 35% of the students managed to graduate from secondary school education. And even with 35% passing it, they didn't do well to progress to the next stage. So I could only say that the main difference from then till now is that we focus a lot of development on polytechnic education to show students that it is not just about university, but with a polytechnic education, they can proceed to work as well. So our university enrollment is still very low, 27%. 27% for our entire cohort of students. Okay, so I mean, to me, when I went to Taiwan, I got a shock of my life, where everybody is a university graduate. Yeah, but for me, we had a very low chance of getting to the university. But things are changing now, especially now with the polytechnic students who actually proceed to the university after this phase. So it actually grows two groups of students, two groups. One group of students are very good at calculations, but they can't do anything. Their hands will shake when they try to carry out some experiment. Just last week, I got a student who heated a Bunsen test tube using a Bunsen burner. And then there were two test tubes, one that's heated and one that's not heated. He grabbed the one that's heated. And then he scalded his hand. I saw it. Then I realized, oh yeah, you are not meant to be a hands-on learner. You can do well in exams. So the group that do well in exams take up this path, and the group that are better at hands-on actually took the polytechnic path. And it's quite obvious because I have ex-students who actually joined forces with his university classmates. He became the chief sales engineer. Yeah, because he's from junior college. And his classmate became the chief engineer because he went through the polytechnic route. So these two are in a dilemma because we can never train a group of students who are both good at hands-on and theory. That would be the ideal. So these are the rough pathways for our students. So what happens then in our school systems, we also have plenty of astronomy clubs setting up, but these numbers never increase over time because for every club that is set up, another 2 clubs will be shut down. And COVID is not doing us a service. During COVID, a lot of clubs were forced to close down because the school do not see the value and relevance of astronomy. So that is one of the biggest problem. In fact, in our official, this is called the co-curricular activities. in the official co-curricular activities, the word astronomy has been removed. That means the government do not endorse any astronomy club. But in its place, they endorse a new club called Space Science. So space science seems to be the message behind this. Yeah. So these are the various schools. I use acronyms because actually there's no point for us to know which schools are these. But I just want to highlight something. Do you find this group of schools very similar to this group of schools? So certain schools are 6 years schools. So what happens is that they have a secondary school section and the junior college section. So basically the same names appear 2 times. So what happens is this. For the higher institutes, they focus their energies on just organizing astronomy competitions and organizing overseas trip. So as you can see, all the yellow means organized for others. And all the orange color coded ones are the participants. So my school happens to be at the lowest rank here. So I have a lot of opportunities for students to participate in competitions. And that's all. That's all. Because at the end of the day, you notice the number of schools didn't increase. It's very limited. And in fact, some students even mention this, especially from the organizing school, is that the more competitions they organize, the less interested are the people. Why? Because the same schools will always get the awards. The top schools will always win all the awards. So what happens to the average schools? They will suffer defeat and failure, and then they will give up. So the irony is, despite all the organizing of various competitions, the number of interested people didn't increase. Yeah. So that is something that is very sad. And the other the perspective here is also regarding to the issue of astronomy being a theory-based activity. Too much theory, and there isn't any hands-on aspect of it. Okay, so these are my photographs of the students that this is a long time ago. We started off with this is a very simple dipole. We constructed it and then using simple PVC pipes, and this antenna was very interesting because it actually allowed me to receive the first solar flare emission. Initially, we thought that there's something wrong with the speaker, but after that event, I couldn't hear that signal anymore. Then we checked against the NASA website and found that it's really a solar flare on that day at that particular time. So that was year 2004. Okay, it's so much different from the type of activities we do now. So there are still efforts to promote astronomy education to the public, and usually my students wearing the same blue shirt which I designed will go out and promote to the public. Of course, I think the interest is always there, but the continuation will be a big challenge. Okay. Now this the third group will be the group of societies like this society that provides services to the public. Okay, but the problem of these 3 societies is that they are running for different purposes. Yeah. So the first group, they call themselves the Astronomy Society of Singapore. If you Google, you can find this name very well. But when I look at the website, the chairman and the vice chairman didn't change for the last 10 years. So it's the same people taking on the chairmanship. Maybe some of you may know them. So it's a very small group. Now this group is not a registered society. The person in charge refused to register it. So it is still an online portal to attract people to attend outreach for public as well as for outing in astrophotography. So it's an active group, but it's not a registered society. And then the last group are only interested in joining the International Astronomy Olympiads for the high school students. Yeah, so it serves only one purpose. Yeah, so to support it. So in a sense, they are all independent organizations. Yeah.
Singapore apply the International Astronomy Olympic before?
Yeah, we send students there every year,
Our Hong Kong level.
unofficially, by the way, not endorsed by MOE, not endorsed by the government at all. Ah.
How did you do it?
They just organize a quiz, select the top students across the country, talk to their school principal, and then the school principal usually will agree because it's a prestigious international Olympiads. So we just went. And it doesn't even have a IAU registered country. It's not even accepted by the IAU as an organizing country. It's never.
Sorry,
Yeah.
2 days ago, I received an email from Diocesan Girls School. They sent me, not send me, sent to HKU and ask Stephen, Professor Moon, and Dr. Lee, try to form a team to participate in International Astronomy Olympics. They said they talked to Space Museum and HKU and CUHK several years already. And right now, he officially invited HKU try to become a trainer. But HKU seems not want to be trained. And forward to me and ask me our society, anyone want to follow it? Yeah. That's why sorry to disturb you. And in Hong Kong level and but our former theoretical astronomy group leader, Professor Peter John, he participate and official participation before in some European countries as far as I know. So anyone who have interest, maybe let me know, see whether you will cooperate with BGS already. But not easy to be honest with us, right? Especially they have 2 parts for this competition. One is observational part, and the other is theoretical part. Theoretical part is easy. For observation, a little bit complicated. Need to all their group leader went to that specific area and sit down and set up the question over there, all right, to do observation. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So I just want to share these organizations. And then the funny thing about this event is that although we are not an official member, we send students every year.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then
how did they? What's the performance?
Performance. Because they have been doing it for the last 20 over years. So they keep getting medals. There was once I trained a boy since secondary 1. He will participate in the selection test for this IAO selection test. Then after that he will fail. So he didn't give up. He went for 4 years. After he graduated, he joined his new school, and then he participated again, and then he got selected, and then he represented Singapore and he got a silver medal. So I was just happy for him because I managed to keep his interest sustained for 4 years despite the failure, so that he can reach the IAU at the end of his education in year 6, form 6. So these are the main groups, and actually if we look at it, the organization in astronomy is very disorganized. There's no central club that is controlling everybody. I mean, if you look at this situation, basically they just operate independently of each other. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The government, Singapore government, is it willing to support any or just let it go?
They refuse to support this IO.
I mean the Singapore government.
For everything or
yeah, because it's still an international competition, right?
Yeah.
And also I believe that the Singapore government seems to me that very keen interest to uphold her prestige image internationally.
I see.
Because it's a little bit
funny, right?
Funny because it's still refused to financially support or maybe so any coordination, but not just a financial, maybe sometimes the government just
Endorsement, right? Yeah.
yeah, just give some endorsement, start a tea party or something, or cheer up,
Okay.
that is, but
Oh,
from your presentation, that the government seems to reluctantly to show
because the
any-
government supports the International Physics, Chemistry, and Biology Olympiad.
This is also
Accept this. Accept this. So because you see, in Singapore, there's no such a subject known as Earth Science. There's no subject called Earth Science.
but Singapore is good for reputation for the oil refinery.
Yeah.
And oil refining is closely related to earth science.
Yes. So throughout our entire school's education, there is no Earth Science at all. So that's why anything that is not related directly to physics, chemistry, and biology wasn't heavily supported. Until the Aceh there was an Aceh earthquake and tsunami. And then after that, one of the universities started Earth Science Observatory. So there are changes, but very little changes.
Sorry to interrupt you again.
Yeah.
Because Singapore is at the equator.
Yes.
And that's close to the Australia.
Yeah.
Now Australia is also a part of the key part of the pilot scheme of the SKA. Apart from the SKA square kilometer array in South Africa.
Yes.
Australia is the pilot scheme, and then the South Africa is the main theme. Singapore one is at the equator.
Yeah.
Just in the middle of Africa and also in Australia.
Yeah.
What's that? Is there any correlation or any association?
I only attended a talk by one of the square kilometer array speaker. I think she visited Singapore, and then we managed to get her to give a talk. But beyond that, I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure. Yeah. So anyway, these are the so-called something that the society actually managed to support the students, despite the fact that there's no direct funding from the government. Yeah. So anyway, given the bad skies, actually our hands-on experiences were also very limited. It's really limited because whenever we are ready to with our telescopes, it rained, and then we have to stop doing the activity. Or it is so cloudy that we cannot even see anything in front of us. Okay, but definitely there must be some things that can change. Yeah, so these are the type of activities we have, and you don't have to worry about tripping over. You know how bright is this? It's in a bright night, and I think this is held near our central area. It's the brightest that you can ever see. So these are also in the bright areas. Definitely this is could be at the science center or a community outreach, mainly for the planets, because these are the most visible and the audience will be captivated by it. Yeah. And whenever there's an eclipse, definitely there will be a huge turnout. Yeah, there will be a huge turnout because the participants are interested, definitely. And then these various clubs will support it. But beyond that, I think the activity level has been quite low also. Yeah. Okay, because like I just mentioned, there's hardly a society to run the programs. Yeah. As they operate quite independently of each other. Okay. So this current situation is actually quite real. They are operated independently. During COVID is even worse. The type of activities will be stargazing, public outreach, occasional trips beyond Singapore. I'm proud to announce that I'm coordinating these trips. But every year the number of turnouts gets smaller and smaller. So because especially after COVID, this has been a real problem. Parents are not willing to support their child. Schools are not willing to support the students. And to my horror, as recent as last year, when I brought only 14 students to Chiang Mai for the visit to the observatory, I was told that I must have 3 teachers for 14 students. That is very relaxing for me because throughout the trip I don't have to do anything. My 2 other colleagues are more than enough to handle the students, but we are told to have more teachers. So I think this current trend will be here to stay because it's quite difficult to persuade the parents who are very concerned that it is safe to go out. So for every single session, stargazing session, we have to write in to the parents for approval. This one approval, and this one also approval. So it has been quite a lot of this red tape. I think most probably because we want to make it safer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what am I doing now? Running a club. I'm happy to tell you that these are some of the activities we have done. This is to me a very interesting trip. We managed to get about students from 2 to 3 schools to participate in an overseas trip together, so that they can interact with each other. Then this one, of course, very happy last year, went to Narik. I was so touched by their generosity. They actually organized the entire program for me.
Wow.
The whole program. So I was shocked because for 4 days, we just do anything related to astronomy. So the whole program is being organized, and they are happy to host foreign countries because they told me that they are actively promoting astronomy through top-down approach. So they want to do it to make sure that every Thai students can see the planets through the telescope, and that is their target. Their real target. Every Thailand student. So I think now their number of observatories within Thailand and around the world has almost hit, I think, 20. They're still building.
I was told that because the princess of Thai
Yeah.
royalty
Yeah.
should like astronomy very much.
Yes. There's another picture which I didn't put in. The park, they have an astronomy museum. It's called Princess Astronomy Park. So we visited that park, we visited their observatory, we even visit their radio observatories. The entire program is free of charge. Except for the food, the traveling, and our accommodation. That's all. So it was and of course Ziliang was the one who linked me up with the Narik staff as well.
Yeah, he's friend and also working for.
Yes. Oh, good. Yeah. And then during the trip, I spent one dinner with him, chit chatting, because he's the one who is so instrumental in fulfilling this trip in the first place.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Quick service. Anyone want to go? Okay, free of charge.
Yeah. Of course, I must quantify, except for our air tickets, hotel stay, and our food. Not expensive. It is November. They recommended November trip for us, and especially very exciting for the young kids. Really, for the young kids. When we visited this place, not only did they give us a stargazing session, they also let us visit almost all their installations. Almost all their installations in Thailand, including their engineering department.
Did they use English for explanation?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I think they employed about 100 outreach staff, 100 engineers, and about 100 scientists. Serious. They build everything themselves. Yeah. So to polish a mirror, they have one machine to polish the mirror. Then after one use, they said there's no more use for it because the mirrors were so well polished that until then they have no need to repolish the mirror. So that was how extreme they are in this development.
Right.
Yeah. So in fact, I should show you more pictures, but I have all the links. No, not to worry, I'll share with you. Yeah. Then what do I see in the future? I think that this is aligned with these are some of the small little games that I started playing already because it's fun. It's fun. If you mix radio with astronomy, it's going to be fun. So I've started mentoring students to do a radio astronomy project, and I'm glad to tell you that my student actually measured the speed of the Milky Way spiral. It's just an estimate. So they managed to measure some kind of a Doppler shift and then calculated the speed. For this one, it's like doing weather prediction. We just download the images from the NOAA satellites, and then we can actually see the satellite maps. And quite a number of students are also signed up to as an amateur radio. They got the license at the age of 13 years old. So I have 3 students who are 13 years old and 2 students at 14 years old. So with a Sec 1 or Sec 2 education in science, they managed to pass the exam because it's very easy. The FCC license. So this is how I'm trying to encourage my students to be more excited about not just the light that they can see from the skies, but also the radio waves. So I'm actually here not just because I happen to have a holiday. Actually, initially when I was asked to come to Hong Kong by my mother-in-law and sister-in-law, I wasn't very excited. Then I realized that hey, you are here. I should come and see you. Okay. And what happens next was activities has been organized. So this is me with my students trying to catch a satellite. Then this is where I managed to get the radio club to volunteer to come to our school to conduct a short radio lesson. Yeah, and this is me trying to catch a satellite at night. Yeah, so these are possible projects that I can do. This is a wild dream. I think sometimes it's just a matter of luck. Just like you, my principal decided to have an observatory. So I tell him, can we have a radio observatory as well? And it was approved. So we are now in the process of building up an astronomy dome, which is expected, and also a room like this.
Wow.
So that we can
Wow.
to build because actually the image is very nice, but the type of facilities are even more exciting. Yeah. So hopefully I can solve all my technical details. That's why I keep telling you I will be asking for help because it's not easy to do it alone. And we are trying to do this so that it can focus on the future of astronomy, space science research. It is for a very blunt truth because recently a teacher actually told me about astronomy. Astronomy has no future.
Oh.
But
SKA and then
yes.
all other stuff.
Yeah. So when he said that astronomy have no future, it is a very myopic way of saying this. So I hope that astronomy has a future. Yeah. So with this, I would like to end my short presentation here. This is my email. Very easy to see me. In fact, I put everything on my webpage, so I can share with you some of the activities that our students have done over the last 10 years. 10 years. No, sorry, 12 years, because I've been running the club for 2 clubs for the total of about 24 years. Yeah, so that's my interest. And yeah, just before I end it, I think I need to acknowledge my first professor in the university. He's an astronomy professor. I think the reason why we are here is because of someone in your life that touches you. Yeah, this professor of mine was so confident about his decision. And I think that's how things get started. Yeah. So there must be someone in your life that impacted you to see things that are bigger than yourselves. Because otherwise, if we do things only for the sake of having an income, we are just social economic animals. But now I can aim for things that are beyond me. Who knows what you can discover in the future. Yeah, so it's quite exciting, and I hope to share all these experiences to encourage the students to do something with their lives. In earlier on, one of the old pictures I showed, this one, this boy became a radio engineer. Because of this simple piece of wire. So you can see the amount of impact I changed his life. I made him into a radio engineer. Of course, I do not know the content, but he went on to specialize in the field that he might be interested in, and many, many more. So we will never know the impact we have. And it's not just for ourselves alone. So I think that reminds me of a very important value system as I grow older and older. My hairs are now getting white, but definitely I am still very young at heart when I want to share my interests with our students. So there are many things you all can do, especially with the club, the Hokun institution, and even I'm so impressed with the in Hong Kong there's the high school diploma in physics. There's an astronomy section. You should be proud of it because Singapore's one lasted for 5 years and then it shut down. Because the number of people who are really passionate about it wasn't very high. So just keep the passion in this for a long time to come, because I think times have changed and things will keep on changing. So that's why I want to live on a more positive note. Current situation quite bad, but it doesn't mean we need to stick to the current situation. And I'm seeing a lot of younger people now coming on board. As long as their interest in the area is still there, they will contribute more and more to the society in different ways. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. Yes, welcome any question, any language.
Yeah.
Please.
About that trip to Thailand.
Yeah.
Was it in internship or just in
Oh.
house?
Okay, the internship is a possibility. It's a possibility because who says you can't do an internship there? But when I went there,
This means more issue or
I mean it's possible.
Yeah.
I think the more important thing is write in. But to start any relationship, the best way is to write in just to visit them.
Yeah.
Then after that, you can see if you have the opportunity, then you so-called approach them. Yeah. That's definitely something you shouldn't wait for things to happen. You can make things happen. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Let me give the chance for the young student. Any question?
Yeah, no worries. And any language.
Or any other. Any question?
Okay. Sorry, I couldn't get my website.
Try.
Okay, I'll try again. SST.
I think I found the website already.
Oh, found already. Yeah.
Before you come.
Oh, okay. Yeah, found it already.
Take you all those information.
Yeah. So usually I will just post all our students' activity up there. Yeah. So this is the group of young kids who actually managed to get the radio license, which I also encourage people to
radio license 地方，
13 years
電
old.
牌啦，各位佢哋
Sup-
14歲，
supported by the radio club. They volunteered to help us run the exam, and then the students took the exam, including me. So I was very stressed that day because I'm very afraid that I will fail the test, and then my students pass the test. Then I will be so embarrassed because I failed this test before. Yeah, I failed this test long time ago, so I had that very scared experience. Yeah, so this is the one to Narik. So all the facilities that they offered to us were all there. Yeah. Yeah. Then these are the radio society that came to help us run the camp as well as the lessons. Yeah. And then during the eclipse, yeah, and so on. So there are many different competitions. In fact, I will even see space development as one of the possibilities. So you can see this one I like to highlight. You know how serious the Taiwanese are when it comes to this competition. It's called the Kibo Robotic Competition Program. They programmed a robot in the ISS to perform certain functions, and they came in first. Then I realized from my friend in Taiwan is that they actually have an internal competition for the whole of Taiwan. So it's like they are actually very professional in the selection of their students. Okay, not like mine, because we cheated to win. I explained to you why. They go for the least target, the least number of phases, and go back quickly. So because of that, their scores became the second highest. Because they are much younger. These kids are only 14 years old. This team is about 18, 19 years old. So they take a different approach. So only 3 teams managed to pass the first round. So these are some of the activities that we have been encouraging the students to participate in. Okay, this is actually, I have your picture there as well. But it's quite some time ago, so it's can't start. This is a professor in satellite from NCU from Taiwan. So this is I'm very proud to show this because she came to Singapore. She's Dr. Roseli Lopez, Brazilian, works at NASA and discoverer of the most number of volcanoes in the solar system. So she got the Guinness World Record. Why? Because nobody else do volcano speculating. So she got the record and so on. So there are many activities that my students participate in, and sometimes it only takes some opportunity, and then we just continue to help them fulfill their curiosity. Yeah. So if you are doing it for your own, I think there's still opportunity. Yeah. I brought my students to the observatory in Taiwan, and then I saw a lot of students doing internship or doing data collection there. They just registered. Yeah. So you can try. Don't worry, because a lot of things happen just because you are there, not because there is opportunity in the first place. Yeah. So like that, this talk here is also because it's not there in the first place. Yeah, it's not there because of the friendship. I thank him. This is how our students get to participate in the competition. Yeah, online competition. And they were judged critically by the judges who were experts in the field. So I was so embarrassed. Can we take the stress? We took the stress. So these students actually tried their best. Of course, they didn't do very well, but that doesn't mean they are not good at it. So I'm still trying to engage even my ex-students to continue to engage in astronomy research and other stuff. Yeah. So all these are the various experiences I put my students through in the society, in the club, and hopefully they will continue. And some of them actually went on to continue in that passion 10 years later. Yeah.
Okay. Very fruitful presentation from my point of view. although some of the works we did in Hong Kong, however, different culture have different issue, different meanings are very long. After I heard Mr. Chan's presentation, you can imagine we are lucky in Hong Kong. At least our sky long 360-day cloudy or rainy, right? but another issue occurred in some sense when I did talk to Mr. Tan, and probably we can have cooperation by making use radio telescope to study lighting, because nearly every day in Singapore have lighting, and the lightning model in the world still unknown. The field is not yet confirmed to know how they produce. So if we can get Singapore's data in you and our model, this is a good timing. Do you understand? And this idea not came from me, it came from Professor Hako from Romania. He asked me to talk to you whether this is possible, all right? Yeah. Do you understand? 即係雷閃電嘅模型咧，其實係未清楚晒㗎嗰個物理。咁而新加坡正值咧，佢哋係喺尺度，大家知道佢嗰個緯度咧係幾多度？一定二啊，一度係嘛？佢睇晒南北半球嘅理論上啲嘢，咁佢哋咁多雨咧，其實係可以去 study 呢個閃電嘅，得唔得？閃電嘅物理模型係未清楚晒㗎而家。咁所以佢有佢嘅地方啊，明唔明啊？即係唔同嘅地方，即係有唔同文化，知多啲係好好咁樣，係嘛？咁佢哋都好有限資源啦。我相信佢哋觀10次星都有8次都未必睇唔到，或者11次睇唔到，好唔好彩咁樣。咁但係人哋都堅持做，咁你睇到佢哋呢班人嘅熱情咧，即係我哋個會多即係都係咁樣噶，我哋啲前輩都係咁樣，所以大家要繼續落去啊，將呢件事咁樣。咁你睇到佢慢慢 develop， 啲同學仔好細個就攞無線電嘅牌啊咁樣，識嗰啲天線啊咁樣，咁就係咁樣嚟咁樣。咁唔好淨係講天線啦，係嘛？可以出去泰國嗰度咁樣去睇。我哋盡快考慮啊，其實都會即係真係要去一次啊！即係咁難得人哋有個咁樣嘅 support 咁樣。有冇嘢補充啊？大家係啊，
你好揾啊，即係個星語觀察，佢哋有聽有㗎嘛？
係。
啲聽有佢嗰度學少啲嘢就可以做由星語觀察。
係。我官係有睇 Shooting Star 啲聽 Echo 嗰個 radio study。
Oh, that's great.
Maybe later can discuss. Yeah. 咁咯。咁我諗除咗即係淨係射電光學都好多嘢做嘅，係嘛？就算明知睇唔到人哋都做，即係呢個好難得，同埋擺喺啲市中心嘅地方咁樣。咁呢啲係好重要嘅，其實擺喺市中心嘅地方先有人知嘅。如果唔係我哋已經係好少人識㗎啦。如果再擺埋匿埋做咧，咁就更加少。咁浪費咗你哋咁多人曾經出過嘅力。我諗無線電會都係咁係嘛？有冇嘢補充？咁應該都 inspire 到我有好多嘢。好冇？咁講多有冇人要再問問題咧？啊，好。袁俊講真係好。
其實泰國嗰度咧，你睇翻佢個 website 咧，佢好多啲 program 嘅，可以容許其他嘅地方嘅人咧去 join。我都 join 過一次，就係講太陽行星同埋點星嘅 program 嘅。係，都係一樣啦，就係機票啦。嗰次佢就食
都包，
住都包埋嘅。
哇！
係啦。咁就其實我哋會都 organize 過一次，啱啱喺疫情之後，就有一次係4月嘅雨點火星嘅，但係嗰陣時息值咧就係清邁嗰度啊，佢嗰個佢係啦，佢哋嗰啲農田咧要燒嗰啲草啊，咁咧就個情況唔好，咁張智霖嘅 feedback 就話嗰段時間咧，一來疫情啦，佢哋難以即係招待啦，同埋個天氣唔好，所以嗰個就嗰個 trip 就 call off 咗。咁其實
11月
清4月啊。
哦
，11月就 OK 嘅，
OK。
但係4月嗰個即係佢嗰個 offshore 嗰度咧，好受嗰個干擾嘅。咁其實佢哋泰國咧高山嘅地方就喺北邊嘅，咁嘅都我哋有啲同學咧都好中意嗰度玩嘅。係啊，佢哋有啲民宿啊嗰啲其實可以去嘅，同埋有啲 好多風景啊嗰啲都可以去睇下。咁即係佢哋亦都有個居住地方咧，專係播嗰啲 visitor 嘅 astronomer 咁啊，好有係啦。咁啊，所以其實就唔係咁難去嘅。不過因為可能佢有啲係泰文啦，咁大家其實佢有英文嘅 page 嘅，咁所以如果你哋有興趣嘅話咧，就可以睇，咁然後咧就 apply 都得嘅。基本上係即係接近免費啦，係啦，機票嗰當然你自己出，機票出咁，然後咧就同佢聯絡，佢就會 organize 啲人去，你去到青島機場之後，可能睇嘅時間就唔就啦。如果唔就咧，你就要可能喺嗰度 book 一晚嘅酒店住，然後佢揾人接你，睇你個航班係點啦。咁通常如果再慳啲咪聯航咯，不過就佢行李就唔可以咁樣聯航。
Just to add on, I think at the end of June they organized a Thai astronomy conference for students. And the trip fees, the food accommodation are all provided. We only need to pay our own air ticket there. So for the young kids here, if you have an astronomy project, it's
考完試咪去咯，考完試啦。
提早考試跟住去咯。一年一個提早考試係冇問題噶嘛。
係啦，好好，我一定會 follow。而家聽完你講咧，我哋可能就係要我帶啲同學出去提升。一定向，首先我就話深圳啦，佢話唔可以㗎，呢個係 non-local teacher。係咁，所以唔得。咁佢就話，咁我話咁好啊，出外帶嗱，你知我要保證有升牌咁你帶人。我就同佢講，佢跟住我啲工程叫我錢唔係問題，即時諗起今年嘅4月咧去美國睇人成啱唔啱？人成嘅機會大啲咁多係咪可以睇到？跟住咧佢又即刻縮喎，我話3-4萬一個人，佢話哇咁多唔得，因為我譬如帶40人，咁你3-4萬一個人隨時100萬，一陣間嗰啲 audit 咧有排問，咁非常之好嘅一個地方，即係泰國我覺得，因為我同咗呢個地方你入嚟之後，係啦，咁似乎呢度又近啲啦，係咪？其實大家後生嗰啲同學仔真係諗下，因為可能有時啲快閃咧講緊好平嘅啲機票。
佢特別嘅地方就係因為佢個印尼嗰個泰國個工因為
係，同埋國際天文會咧係等咗好多嚟同泰國嘅，據我所知，因為佢好想幫一啲啱啱開始天文學嘅國家，泰國係佢重點咧擺咗好多次 international young astronomer 嘅 training 喺泰國幾次嘅嚟嘅，咁所以 young astronomer 可能係大學或者再上嗰啲都有，甚至乎中學啊咁樣，所以大家留意下嗰啲。咁最後提到話，可能啲泰文唔怕啦，係咪啊？你哋嘅手機好高傳咁得啦，
其實泰國好平，1.7幾年先起步嘅，全個香港嘅多。
哇！但係人哋真係好快。
其實關係就因為觀眾中意嘛，其他啲就觀眾就差多。
大家記得原來即係有皇室嘅成員係好重要嘅。係啦。
即係假如香港嘅特首係中意
佢好中意嘅，我相信。好啦，真係再一次俾啲掌聲啊！亦都感謝大家，不如出嚟影張相先走啦，好唔好啊？大家其實冇時間，如果係咧，大家互相認識下就好啦。哎呀 ，sorry，今日講出嚟，開唔到其他 picture 珠海嘅朋友都好多謝你哋啊，即係你謝你啊。好啦，咁我哋好簡單影一張相先。
要佢嚟呢嘛都仔嚇。
要點呢度？好，不如大家點咧？行出嚟咁樣，跟住就影幅相咁樣，跟住我哋就要離開嘅同學就朋友又得，或者跟住去食飯嘅都得啦。好，不如盡快啦。阿倫，你係咪有啲咩360嘅影相機啊？冇360。係。喂，好啊，咁快啲。我覺得好。 我覺得好得啊，識 projector，識 projector，識 projector，定係用佢 background 啲啊？咁啊係喎，殘到啲人一樣。影咗一張先啦，再識啦，好唔好啊？好唔好啊？好好好，麻煩大家盡快揾個位啦，係啦，我哋係，好啊，嗰個 projector 使唔使識啊？識埋啦，好啦。哦，你點都要企兩個。好，咁可以開翻燈，啱唔啱啊？好，大家揾個位啊，係啦。尤其是好多謝啲同學嚟啊，好多同學嚟啊，啲前輩都嚟啊，謝謝你。喂，你都嚟埋喎，你。
好啊，佢家就
揾個位啦，唔好匿埋啊，大哥。幾多秒啊？有遙控得。睇到秒數。
你遙控咩？
好啊，大家。OK，睇下先。OK 啦，好啦，唔該晒大家啦。咁係啦，有時間嘅大家一齊過隔離嗰度簡單食個飯咁樣。跟住佢得唔得？好。喂，唔該晒珠海嘅朋友啊，好啊，遲啲有機會你哋嚟到香港再 share 你哋珠海嘅俾我哋聽，或者係啊，我哋大家再交流，係啦。唔該晒，同埋好多謝晒你哋嗰套射電望遠鏡嘅系統啊！拜拜。拜拜。好，走啦，好，遲啲再揾你啊。